Gabby Petito's fiance Brian Laundrie may have just been caught on camera. Florida police are now going to be investigating trail camera footage that shows a man who bears a striking resemblance to that of Brian Laundrie. The FBI and Florida police have been doing their best to hunt down Brian Laundrie, who is currently the #1 suspect in the disappearance of Gabby Petito. He's believed to be the last person to see her alive, but has since gone missing since the police started looking at him as their prime suspect. A man named Sam Bass had set up a trail camera in the wilderness in Baker, Florida early Monday morning, and he has now alerted authorities about the footage he captured. Sam's deer camera footage shows a man wearing a backpack and trekking through the woods. This man on camera looks very similar to the description of Brian Laundrie. Many were quick to point out that Baker, Florida is about 450 to 500 miles away from Laundrie's home in Northport, which means that he would have been on quite the journey over the last 4 days, most likely walking on foot and hitchhiking to reach this point. However, the local sheriff's office is hesitant to confirm whether or not this is indeed the man they are looking for. Apparently they are actively looking into the footage though. People have also pointed to the fact that his backpack in the camera footage is very similar to the one that police described Laundrie had left his home with, and his parents did tell authorities that he had left to go for a hike on Friday but never returned home. Hopefully the police will release more details soon as to whether or not this is in fact Brian. But the fact that people are reporting footage like this to the authorities is absolutely amazing, and it means that he will be caught much faster. Gabby Petito's fiance Brian Laundrie has been spotted in Alabama, which leads to his lawyer suddenly canceling a scheduled press conference. After the police were criticized for the way they mishandled the whereabouts of Gabby Petito's partner Brian Laundrie, they have now received multiple tips that he had been spotted near Mobile, Alabama. This sighting comes shortly after the news of a body being found in Wyoming broke that was then confirmed by the autopsy to be that of Gabby Petito. Apparently another body has also been found near Mobile, but news sources are saying that it is not believed to be related to the search for Laundrie. Brian, who is considered to be a person of interest in Gabby's case, was reported missing on Tuesday after refusing to speak with the police about his fiance's disappearance. On Friday, someone photographed a man that bears a strong resemblance to Brian. The photo was taken by an 18-year-old passerby just hours before police arrived at Brian's home to investigate his disappearance. The man is balding, wearing a brown t-shirt, sweatpants, and sunglasses, walking down the street while listening to headphones. A spokesperson for the Northport Police Department confirmed with the New York Post that they were aware of the photo, and while stating that they could not confirm whether or not it was indeed him, they did add that it sure as heck looks like him. Their words, not mine. That being said, the local sheriff's office said the deputies have checked out all of the tips coming in about this Alabama sighting, but that they have failed to produce anything of substance. Adding in a statement, they varied from the suspect hitchhiking or walking down the street in Wilmer and turns his head every time a car passes. We've dispatched a vehicle for each and every call and verified that the person was not Laundrie. Mobile resident Shawnee Rogers said that she has heard the rumors and said to the press, "It's definitely pretty scary since it's so close to home. This is definitely scary thinking about how he could be right around the corner. I think it's rumors, people probably thinking they saw him trying to get attention, but I mean, you never know." Speaking of rumors, there were even some reports going around on social media that suggested he had been captured, but those all turned out to be false. According to Brian Enton, who received an email from the Northport Police about this, they said, "We have received a significant amount of requests tonight regarding a possible capture of Brian Laundrie. These reports are unfortunately false. Please rest assured that when Brian is found, we will be more than happy to let everyone know." A warrant has now been issued for the rest of Gabby Petito's fiance Brian Laundrie after he was caught using her bank cards. This moves him from simply being a person of interest in her disappearance to now a wanted criminal. Brian Laundrie has been sought by police for 6 days now in connection with the death of Gabby Petito during their cross-country road trip. Turns out that on Thursday he was also caught using one of her bank cards, after which a warrant was issued for his arrest. A grand jury in the U.S. District Court of Wyoming indicted him on a single count of unlawfully using the bank debit card, but he is still yet to be charged in connection to her death. FBI Denver Special Agent in charge Michael Schneider said in a written statement, "While this warrant allows law enforcement to arrest Mr. Laundrie, the FBI and our partners across the country continue to investigate the facts and circumstances of Ms. Petito's homicide." Schneider then added, "We urge individuals with knowledge of Mr. Laundrie's involvement in this matter of his current whereabouts to contact the FBI." Now, just because he has yet to be charged in connection to the death of Gabby, that doesn't mean that the feds don't know something is up with this guy. The warrant is way more than just illegal credit card use. A motion filed by prosecutors requested that Brian be held without bail before his trial because they classified him as a danger to the community. Now, I don't know about you, but someone who has an arrest warrant for a stolen credit card or bank card for that matter hardly seems like a public safety issue that needs to be handled by the FBI. So they clearly know a lot more than they are letting on here. The documents, according to our sources, also state that Laundrie is a serious flight risk. This indictment gives us a timeline for the alleged unauthorized use of Gabby's bank cards. According to the report, it was used from August 30th to September 1st, purchasing items that totaled at least $1,000. What is important to note here though for our timeline of events is that he returned to his parents' house in Florida on September 1st. 1st. The FBI also started asking the public for their assistance in finding Gabby around August 28th, and then she was officially reported missing on September 11th. The main reason why they can't just issue a warrant in connection to her death though is because the police need probable cause to get that warrant. So perhaps the physical evidence at the crime scene wasn't enough to implicate Brian in any of this. That being said, they may have found things in his family home and in that white van that suggest otherwise, but they're waiting to capture him first to make a rock solid case. Either way, the hunt for Laundrie is still going on, and what's making things difficult for police right now is that there is just so many sightings of him. I realize that a lot of humans look the same, but man oh man, there are so many people that internet detectives believe is Brian Laundrie. We had a report of a woman who believes she saw Brian outside of a hotel in Toronto. That woman shared the photo she snapped of the man, and I gotta say they do look alike, but unless he found his way into a flight out of the US, I really doubt that it was him. This other spotting though would seem more likely. This photo was shared by a woman from Copenhagen who has been living in Mexico as of late, and the picture appears to show a man who is wearing a white t-shirt and black shorts sitting at a table at a restaurant in Merida, Mexico. If Laundrie was on foot and running from his home in Florida, it would make much more sense for him to try to escape to Mexico, just geography wise. Initially, his family told police that he said he was going for a hike in the swamp-infested Carlton Nature Reserve in Sarasota. However, a search and rescue expert said that Laundrie may have lied to his own family about his whereabouts. Chris Boyer, the executive director of the National Association for Search and Rescue, told Insider.com, "There's a chance Laundrie may have lied to his family about where he was going. People that are trying not to get caught for something sometimes use people, right? So he may have told his parents that's where he's going. They may be telling the authorities that in all honesty, but he lied to them." The hunt for Gabby Petito's fiance Brian Laundrie has just taken a bizarre turn. Dog the Bounty Hunter has announced that he will also be joining the search for Brian, and even went as far as showing up to his family's home in Florida. Dwayne Chapman, who's better known as Dog the Bounty Hunter, has officially joined the search for Brian Laundrie. Chapman, who is a reality star and former bail bondsman, said that he was going to take part in tracking Brian down days after the FBI recovered the body of Brian's fiancée, Gabby Petito, ruling her death as a homicide. At first, Brian was simply a person of interest in this case, but after they noticed that he was using Gabby's bank cards, the FBI issued a warrant for his arrest. Recently, he decided to visit Brian's parents' house, but after knocking on the door, he was only met with silence. He later told Fox News, "The reason I went to Mr. Laundrie is I carry a reputation with me. The reputation is he gives you a second chance, he's gonna get you, but he gives you a second chance." This case actually aligns perfectly for Dwayne as well. As a father of 13 who lost a daughter around the same age as Gabby Petito in a car accident back in 2006, this one hit close to home for him. Plus, he was in Florida already on a honeymoon with his wife Francie Chapman, but cut that short after multiple people began reaching out to him to join the search for Brian Laundrie. Brian's parents initially reported him missing on September 17th as they told police that he had been gone for 3 days. 2 days later, an FBI-led search came across the remains of Gabby Petito at the Spread Creek dispersed camping area north of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Dwayne also had a message for Brian's dad and said, "The dad can still reach out to me through social media. Let's get the kid captured alive." While the search continues at a swampy reserve near the Laundrie home, many outside experts believe that there is no way Brian could survive in that area for long. Dog the Bounty Hunter has also set up his very own anonymous tip line and said that he's been getting calls every 2 or 3 minutes. So far, much of the information that he has received has been pointing him towards the Appalachian Trail where Brian had previously camped. Dwayne added, "If there's anywhere out there that looks the hottest, that could be the area. I think he's young enough, not an experienced criminal, but what is his greatest experience? Outdoorsman. That's what he does the best. I don't think he can shoplift, live on the run, live in cheap hotels. On a 1 to 10, he's probably a 6 compared to the outdoorsmen and some of the guys I've captured." The trail is not going to be a foreign territory to Chapman if that's where Laundrie ended up going. Dwayne had taken part in a massive manhunt back in 2015 along this trail for 2 escaped convicts. Experts believe that Brian is most likely moving by night when the authorities call off their search and hiding during the day. Some people believe that Brian went south of the border, but both Chapman and other experts say that he is probably not in Mexico. Dwayne spoke to the press about this and said, "A white boy that doesn't know Spanish, the cartel's gonna grab him for the reward, so he's not down there," adding that he is more than likely still in the United States and perhaps somewhere along the East Coast even. In addition to Dog the Bounty Hunter joining the search, the FBI paid another visit to Brian's home and requested more personal items belonging to Brian to assist them with DNA matching. Authorities have also notified the public that 2 separate rewards totaling $30,000 have been offered to anyone who can provide law enforcement officials with Brian's whereabouts. So hopefully with this incentive and Dog the Bounty Hunter joining in, this search should be coming to an end shortly. We just got some crazy breaking news that Brian Laundrie's family has called the police on Dog the Bounty Hunter after he joined the search for their son. There is currently both a reward and warrant out for Brian Laundrie's arrest. Police recently confirmed reports that Brian Laundrie's parents called the police on Dwayne Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman after he showed up at their house in Florida this past weekend. The Northport police responded after getting a 911 call from the family. They apparently said that Dwayne was just walking around their property, which we did see multiple clips of earlier today, including him straight up knocking on their front door and taking questions from the press on site. Josh Taylor, who is a spokesperson for the Northport police, told Insider.com, "We did not tell him to leave, he left on his own." And while speaking with Fox News, Dwayne said that it was a shame that the Laundrie family didn't want to speak with them, but at this point, why would they? This is their son who is now on the run from the FBI. The only way that they are speaking is through legal representation. Dog the Bounty Hunter also had touched on getting approval from the police and told the press, "The police said we were welcome to knock on the door, and so we did. I wanted to tell the Laundries that our goal is to find Brian and bring him in alive." So far, Dog says that he has received more than 1,000 tips on this special hotline that he created for people that have information about Brian's whereabouts. Hopefully all of that is being shared with law enforcement though. Despite having Laundrie's parents call the police on him, he does seem confident about finding Brian. He went on to say, "We're going through all those leads right now. I would say within 48 hours we probably will have a location where we start the tracking at." He had previously suspected Brian to be somewhere along the Appalachian Trail, but perhaps these leads will pull him to a different direction. Either way, we will have to wait and see. Dwayne Dog the Bounty Hunter Chapman has joined the search for Brian Laundrie after the disappearance of Gabby Petito, and he has already found some interesting evidence. Not only that, but he is claiming to have footage of Brian and his parents arriving at a Florida campsite just days after Gabby went missing. So it seems as though people are more trusting of Dog the Bounty Hunter than they are the FBI or Northport police. After opening up a hotline for tips on Brian's whereabouts, Dwayne is said to have received over 1,000 tips. Now he is claiming to have found the campsite where Brian and his parents stayed after Laundrie returned home without Gabby. After her remains were found in Wyoming on September 19th, with her death being ruled as a homicide, the search for Brian has become intense. According to Dwayne though, one of his tips pointed him in the direction of Fort DeSoto Park near St. Petersburg, which is about 75 miles from the Laundrie family home in Northport. He went on to claim that the family had been there twice with their son in early September, allegedly from September 1st to the 3rd, and then again from the 6th to the 8th. Chapman tells Fox News, "They were registered, went through the gate, they're on camera, they were here. We think at least if he's not here right now, we are sure he was caught on camera as he went in the gate. He was here for sure, not over in the swamp." For a while now though, the search efforts were concentrated on the Carlton Reserve, which is about 25,000 acres of just alligator infested water, just 13 miles north of the Laundrie residence. However, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos, there's no way that the parents were giving the police honest information about their son's whereabouts. Dwayne goes on to say, "Allegedly what we're hearing is 2 people left on the 8th, 3 people came in on the 6th, and 2 people left on the 8th. I think he's been here for sure." Another reporter also said that they overheard a park worker saying that investigators had already checked surveillance video on the grounds, but the FBI had no comments on this whatsoever. So most likely the FBI knows that the Laundries were at this campsite, but they're just not sharing this information with the public like Dog the Bounty Hunter is doing. The Laundrie family lawyer is continuing to hold the position that Chris and Roberta Laundrie do not know where Brian is, adding in a statement, "They are concerned about Brian and hope the FBI can locate him. The speculation by the public and some in the press that the parents assisted Brian in leaving the family home or in avoiding arrest on a warrant that was issued after Brian had already been missing for several days is just wrong." Now, despite the FBI charging Laundrie with using Gabby's bank cards, they did say they will continue to investigate the facts and circumstances of Miss Petito's homicide. Oh, and Dwayne has already alerted the authorities about the campground location that he believes could be a major clue in this case. This could indeed be a big breakthrough on this case if Dog the Bounty Hunter has somehow linked Brian's parents to assisting him in escaping from the police.
Dwayne Dog Chapman, the Bounty Hunter, is best known for his hit reality TV shows that show him and his family tracking down fugitives on the run. Dog has recently come back into mainstream attention because he's decided to join the hunt for Brian Laundrie, who's a person of interest in the death of Gabby Petito. But I wanted to tell you a little bit more about the reality star and some past scandals that you might not have heard about. And let's get into the top 10 Dog the Bounty Hunter controversies you need to know. In at number 10, racist. Over the years, multiple sources have come out alleging that Dog is a racist. Even his own family have come forward against him, exposing him for being racist and saying the N-word on many occasions. His daughter Bonnie revealed he was racist and homophobic in a Facebook post she wrote in an attempt to expose him. His son Tucker even leaked a private phone call between him and his father, where Dog can be heard using the N-word several times. To make matters worse, Dog was using the slur in reference to Tucker's girlfriend, who was black. The conversation was leaked to the media in 2007 and led A&E Disney to temporarily pause production on Dog the Bounty Hunter, but the show later resumed following Dog's public apology. And at number 9, didn't invite daughters to his wedding. After his wife Beth passed away from throat cancer, Dog remarried to Francie Frayne. But the couple decided not to invite Dog's 2 daughters with his late wife Beth, Cicely and Bonnie Chapman. Cicely and Bonnie complained to TMZ that they'd been left off the guest list for the wedding, claiming it could be because his daughters remind him too much of Beth. Bonnie doubled down in a Facebook post, revealing that she wasn't invited because she supported social causes like BLM protests with a show she was on called The System. And at number 8, claims to be Native American. One thing that Dog seems particularly proud of is his Native American heritage, but many people don't believe it's real. He claims that his mother was Cherokee and proudly wears items stemming from Native American culture, like feathers in his hair and native jewelry. But many people deny that Dog's mother was ever Native, and they claim this is all a big lie he sells to market himself. One theory states that Dog's mother was actually a Polish immigrant who came to the US and identified with Native American culture after befriending people that lived on a reservation. And apparently she just started telling people that she was Cherokee. And at number 7, 2011 lawsuit. In 2011, a man named Hoang Minh Phong Nguyen filed a suit against Dog and his team for defamation. Back in 2009, while Dog was hunting down Nguyen, Dog claimed that Nguyen shot at him and his crew while they were trying to arrest him. Nguyen claimed in the lawsuit that what really happened wasn't shown accurately on TV, and Dog exaggerated what really happened. What was shown on TV resulted in Nguyen losing his job and reputation, even though the charges against him were dropped. Dog apparently promised to hand over video evidence proving his side of the story was true, but he never did. And at number 6, bad parent. In his lifetime, Dog has been through multiple marriages and divorces, resulting in many children. Because of all this, it's not hard to imagine that he wasn't a great parent because his time was just stretched so thin. His daughter Lissa actually wrote a book about it called Walking on Eggshells, where she spoke about her upbringing, making the claim that she had a bad upbringing and her mother was an alcoholic, while her father was addicted to drugs. She claimed she even falsely accused her father of abusing her, saying she concocted the story so she would not have to live with him. She wrote in the book, quote, "It was a horrible life that I never wanted to go back to. Living with him and Beth and the fighting and the substances. When I got to my mother's, although she drank, it was much more peaceful. I was in school, I had friends, I was willing to do anything to not go back." Halfway, number 5, no biological father. On his sister's deathbed, she revealed a dark secret about Dog that had been hidden his whole life. She claimed that Dog was not actually the child of their father, and he was only half related to his other siblings. Apparently, it's the reason that Dog's father was much harder on him compared to his other siblings. His sister was dying of a very bad infection, and because she knew she wasn't going to make it, she told Dog, quote, "By the way, I want to tell you that Dad is not your father. He is Paula's, Mike's, and mine, but he's not really yours, and maybe that's some of the reason he beat you more." Apparently, after he learned this secret, he understood why his father treated him so badly, but he still considers him his real father. And at number 4, Dog cheated on Beth. Dog and Beth built an empire together, and she was a staple in all of Dog's TV shows, becoming just as recognizable as him. But apparently their marriage was not perfect, and their daughter publicly stated that Dog cheated on Beth. She said, quote, "He would cheat on my mom all the time, and I hated him every time he did it, but I forgave him for that because I wanted a relationship with my dad." Adding, quote, "Since my mom died, my dad ran away from the person she inspired him to be. He began to do that when she was sick in the hospital, and he began to have an affair with a friend of my mom's." And that's actually true. It was revealed that after Beth passed away, Dog started seeing one of the bridesmaids that was at their wedding. And at number 3, new show cancelled. Dog is best known for his hit A&E show Dog the Bounty Hunter, as well as Dog and Beth on the Hunt. But after a few years away from reality TV, he was hoping to make a comeback with a new show called Dog Unleashed, tracking the whereabouts of major criminals. But the show ended up being cancelled right before it was set to premiere on Unleashed Entertainment. The CEO of that network said in a statement, quote, "We greatly respect the incredible work of Dwayne Chapman, aka Dog the Bounty Hunter, tracking down and bringing fugitives to justice. Unfortunately, Unleashed Entertainment received reports of actions taken by Mr. Chapman during the show's production that breach our contractual agreements." There was no detail given for how he breached his contract, but clearly an investigation was made that led them to that conclusion, and it must have been something pretty bad. And at number 2, served a jail time. When he was only 13, Dog dropped out of school and lived with a motorcycle gang, and in those years he was in trouble with the law quite frequently. In 1976, when he was 23 years old, Dwayne was waiting in a car when a friend shot and killed a man during a deal gone wrong. Even though Dog didn't do anything, since he was in the car, he was charged as an accomplice, and he was convicted of first-degree murder, and served a year and a half in jail. It was during this time he decided to become a bounty hunter, and he changed his life drastically when he was released. released. Dog said about the incident, quote, "I shouldn't have been there. That's sad." And finally, at number 1, N-word pass. As I mentioned before, Dog has been in trouble on multiple occasions for using the N-word, but after being confronted about it, he claimed he thought it was okay because he had an N-word pass. He said, quote, "I've never been a racist. I'm 33.5% Apache, but because of over 15 years ago, I have an Achilles heel because I used the wrong word. I thought I had a pass in the black tribe to use it, kind of like Eminem." When asked who gave him this supposed pass in the first place, he said, quote, "I just had gotten out of prison in 1979 after spending time, 18 months in Texas, and it was probably 3/4 from the black tribe." Dog recalled, "So that was a word that we used back and forth as maybe a compliment. My pass expired for using it, but no one told me that."